All right. So we're back here for sentencing. The defendant had applied for deferred adjudication. The court, because it wasn't noted on the docketing sheet, the court reviewed the stipulations and found there was sufficient evidence to find her guilty, but deferred finding of guilt. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State is remaining silent. They're taking in consideration 2022 CR 0841D. There's an affirmative finding of family violence and no contact with Alexander White and Kayla Connor. And we're back here because the court had an issue with 2022 CR 0841D. So have both parties had a chance to look into that case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So give me information.
And I can tell you, Judge, I know we're silent, so I'm just trying to speak about factual issues.
Mhm.
It is being taken into consideration in the sense that, I guess, two parts. Number one is that she has stipulated as part of stipulations to this, I believe, part of the indictment on the second case. So she's taking accountability for that portion is partly why. Number two is that two of the co-defendants, which is Kayla Connor and Brandon White, have taken responsibility for their part of the actions. I believe Brandon White actually went to prison because he's the main actor in that case. And then third, it was just, as you are aware, being a former prosecutor, it was made in consideration to prevent a child witness from having to testify unnecessarily when we have the same degree of offense for both cases.
All right.
And Your Honor, to speak to the case, I've spoken at length with Ms. White. I've really thought back over all the case, the other case that the court has been asking me about.
Okay, you're whispering.
I'm sorry. I've had a chance to talk to Ms. White, and I really had a chance to look over the case and think about the questions that the court asks on this. I think the conversation I had with Kayla immediately after this past week, we had a chance to kind of sit down and talk.
Voice up.
I'm sorry. I usually try to project.
Brenda, this is he's lowering his voice. You remember, I know people don't listen to the radio anymore, but they used to have Secret Storm or whatever, and people have the low voice. So if you could put it up here.
Right. You know, Judge, and I think it might be my allergies. I'm susceptible to mold, so my apologies if that's what it is.
Barry White had a low voice, but you could still hear everything he was saying.
Sometimes I try to pull it.
Okay.
Doesn't always work. But to continue, Judge, whenever our conversation was really telling, Kayla's very emotional in speaking about it, and she has been in the past. So the way just to lay out the facts of the situation, she was residing in this apartment, decent sized apartment with her husband. The COVID pandemic occurs, and Brandon White, who is the father of the child in the other case, implores them to allow him to move in there during the
Oh no, I remember the facts of the case. I'm just trying to figure out what, honestly, the taken in consideration, which has been explained by the state.
Yes, Judge, and I'll be very brief. The way that in our conversations with the state and going through it, I think Michael is spot on. That Kayla's always been willing to take responsibility for any part that she played in any of this. I think it's very clear, and the way I've explained it, and this is me advocating for her as well. She's working as she does now, lengthy hours, and when she's home, most of the time she's sleeping. And talking to her, it's very clear in this case that Brandon White, the individual's, Alex's father, the child's father, essentially had the most interaction with the child. And he lives sort of a secretive life. I don't know if secretive is even the right word to put there. They live their lives, and Kayla, to the degree that possible, continued to try to live hers. But when you talk to her about it, and I've related this to the state, that does she wish she was more perfect? Does she wish that she could have done, looking back on it, could have maybe done more or done those things? Yes, of course. I think everyone wishes they were perfect on things. But I truly believe, Your Honor, that she thought she was doing best, that she was trying to play her role, and that she trusted that that the child's parent, would be taking care of things in a responsible manner. You know, having a chance to look at the case in total, to look at Kayla White's role and everything, and what could have been done. I do not believe that I personally do not believe that she is guilty of committing any abuse or violence toward Alex. But again, that's part of the conversation that we were having here, is that I think that when you look at the roles that were played here, Kayla White's role, while she will be the first to admit she could have done maybe more, was not the one that was resulting in the injury to the child. And so I think for those reasons, Judge.
I'm sorry, just one moment, that interruption. That was a medical call. All right.
May I proceed?
Yes.
And so looking at the case and looking at the situation with Ms. Connor, everything, the letters that I presented to the court last week, I think the picture that is painted is one that I believe of her that is within my sense of her, which is that she's always going to do her best. She wants to do her best, always. Will she make mistakes in life? Absolutely. But she's the type of person that will do whatever she can to make amends for those, to do better for herself, for her family, for her community. And I think that in the court's mercy, should she be provided and allowed to do the deferred adjudication community supervision, the court will see that she will attend all of her appointments, do what is asked of her, not just the bare minimum, but beyond that. That's the person that I know her to be. And I think that's the reason why we're here today in this specific situation.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God? All right. You're going to have to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Could you state your name for the record?
Kayla Lynn White.
All right. Where are you living?
I am currently living at 5711 Cuba Road in Seguin, Texas with my general manager and her mother.
All right. Are there any children in that home?
No.
All right. Where's your husband?
He's living with a friend as far as I know of. I don't know which friend and I don't know where.
Are you all still together?
We are still married.
But no. Are you still together? Are you still in contact?
No.
What's his name?
Christopher White.
So is she asking that her probation be transferred to Seguin, or would she be staying in Bexar County?
Either way is fine with me. If it's in
No.
San Antonio, I'll take it.
No, let's not do the either way.
It would be Seguin, Judge. I think that would probably, just knowing these things, I think it would probably be best.
So are you asking that your probation be transferred to Seguin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation, is that possible?
Your Honor, it won't be. Still be supervised here.
Okay. All right, the court will follow your plea bargaining agreement. There's a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. 5 years deferred adjudication. Take in consideration 2022 CR 0841D. There's to be no contact with the following persons: Christopher White, Alexander White, Kayla Connor. There's to be proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Defendant is not allowed to reside in any household with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative, except for my medications that I'm currently taking.
What medications?
It is a generic Lexapro. I can't pronounce it. It's Calipram or something like that. And I also take trazodone for sleeping, but I haven't taken it in a week because I haven't needed it. I've been too exhausted.
All right, what are you on those medications for?
Trazodone for sleeping because I have severe insomnia, and the generic Lexapro for my bipolar disorder.
All right. I'm going to ask for a MIC evaluation. And the defendant, you're going to have to sign a release so that the probation can have access to any of the medications and doctor's reports. There's to be regular UAs, field visits, one time per month, random. And that's until further notice. State, it's not listed in here. Are you all requesting any type of classes? Because there's not a BIP class listed or anger management.
I think it's because we were silent, Judge, we didn't make any.
Okay, thank you. All right. The BIPP course. All right. And State, I know you're silent, but now that you know there's the court is granting her application, is there any condition that you think will be helpful to her?
Not that I can think of, Judge, other than Christopher White is a fugitive from this court.
Mhm.
So I hope that if she does not have that information, but if she does, that she pass that on to law enforcement so that he can be brought to court, face the charge. He's a co-defendant on this.
Okay. All right. You realize you're not to have any contact with Christopher White. That means not by phone. That means not in person. That means not by card, not by any type of signals. You understand? If you end up having contact with him, that's going to be a violation of your probation. A motion to revoke will be filed, and you could be looking up to 10 years in prison. Do you understand? Probation, is there anything else that she needs?
Rashawn.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
And because there is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. Remain in courtroom. Probation will go over conditions with you.